Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Sarvalokanam Visheje Gurugnam Nidhe Sarvavidyanam Sri Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Kratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samprabha Nirvignam Guru Me Deva Sarvagaryesh Sarvada. Shuklam Bharadharam Vishnam Shivarnam Chaturjam Prasannavadaram Dhyaye Sarvignopajante. Vyasam Shakte Bhadramangalam Rajarathman Degadadam Dabanitim Vyasaya Vishnurupaya Vyasarupaya Vishnave Namo Vai Brahmanadevasishtaya Namo Namah Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jihadire. We were looking at Sanjaya explaining the discussions that took place in Upaplavya when he visited Pandavas, and we'll continue with that. He was explained responding to Duryodhana's question on what Arjuna or others did, and he was explaining the chariot Arjuna was mounted on. He said it's created by Twastri Vishwakarma himself, with having a flagstaff which is celestial form, and it has Hanuman on it, and it's that has a 1 yojana length, and it course cannot be obstructed, and also the banners and everything, that's the chariot itself with that flagstaff, it was looking like entire mountain moving across. And he says that that chariot was drawn by 100 horses given by Chitrasena Gandharva. And we know in Adi Parva, Arjuna got those 400 horses from Gandharvas, and also when he was in heaven, he got those horses. Right? So they were drawn, and those horses' number always remains 100. Even if enemy kills horses, still the numbers remain 100, and such is the beauty of that. So then Sanjay explains that Yudhishthira's horse were drawn by ivory colored white in color like ivory, those horses, and Bhima's horses were drawn by the horses with energy like Saptarishis, 7 rishis, and Sahadeva had horses gifted to him by Arjuna, and they were of different colors, and Nakula's horses were presented to him by Indra himself. And all these horses were large size, and they were very strong and very quick, fast, and in dragging, and they were all presented by Devatas himself, and that's why similarly the horses drawn and drawing Abhimanyu and Draupadi's children were also like that. So Dhritarastra then asks who all arrived there and who will fight my sons in that battle, in that war. Sanjaya says that Krishna came there with Andhakas and Vrishnis, that Andhakas, Vrishnis leader. Krishna came there, Vasudeva, he came there, and then Chekitana, also Satyaki came there, and Chekitana and Satyaki came with 1 Akshayani of forces each, and Drupada with his 10 sons, Satyajit, Dhristadhyumna, Shikandin, and others, he came there with 1 Akshayani of Sanya army. And then Virata with his sons Shanka and Uttara, and also his brothers Suryadatta, Madhiraksha, he came there with an Akshayani. Then Jarasanda's son Drishtaketu came there, and then Jarasanda's son came there, and then Chedi king Shishupala's son came there with Akshayani's army each, and Kekeya brothers, they came there with an Akshayani. So all of them were led by Dhristadhyumna. Dhristadhyumna became the leader of that army. Bhishma was assigned to Shikandi. Shikandi was going to take care of Bhishma. Virata with all its Matsya warriors were planned to support Shikandi. And similarly, Duryodhana with all his sons and 99 brothers of Duryodhana were assigned to Bhima. So Bhima's responsibility to take care of them. Karna, Jayadratha were Arjuna's share, along with all the other warriors who are difficult to be withheld by others, like any Kripacharya and Ashwatthama, and all of them were to be faced by Arjuna. And then KK brothers, they would accept fight against the KK warriors on Dhritarashtra's side, and also Balavas, Shalvakas were included in their share, Trigartas as well. Then sons of Duryodhana, Dushasana, and also Brihadalva, all these were Abhimanyu's share. And similarly, Draupadi's sons were there. They were all supporting Dhristadhyumna, who was taking care of Drona. And then Chekitana was was going to face encounter with Somadatta. Satyaki will with Kritavarman, and Sahadeva will fight with Shakuni. Nakula will Shakuni's son Uluka and Saraswatas and others, the tribes of Saraswata. So like this, each of the warriors on Kuru army were assigned to somebody on the Pandavas side. So like this, it was assigned. And Dhritarashtra, hearing this, he starts again, his anxiety and his grief grows and sorrow grows, and he says that nobody can face up to that with Yudhishthira as their leader, Arjuna, Bhima, Nakula, Sahadeva, Dhristadhyumna, Satyaki, Drupada, Drishtaketu, Uttamajas, Yudamanyu, Shikandi, all these, Virata and many others are there. Chedis, Matsya, Sanjayas, all these are there, Prabhakaras and others. All these were there in the Pandava side. It's very difficult to face, and definitely defeat is ours. And hearing this, Duryodhana again says that both Pandavas and ourselves, all of us are from the same race, and we have learnt all from same Guru, Drona, Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, Karna, Jayadratha, Somadatta, Ashwatthama. All these were impossible to defeat any one of them. Now all of them are together united here. Even if Indra comes, Indra cannot defeat us. So this anxiety you have on my welfare is just uncalled for, and Pandavas will be destroyed in this war. Dhritarashtra says that, hey Sanjay, this my son speaks like a madman. He doesn't understand. He thinks that he can defeat Yudhishthira, but Bhishma knows him how powerful Pandavas are and their sons are. So he asks again Sanjaya, tell me who is telling Pandavas to prepare for this one? Who is encouraging them? Who is telling them, pouring ghee into that fire? So who is encouraging them? And then at that time, Sanjaya says that Dhristadhyumna always encourages Pandava, saying that, do not worry, I alone will face up to all these people, Bhishma, Drona, Kripa, Karna, everybody. I will face and I will resist everybody. I will defeat all of them. Don't worry, I will do this. So, and then Yudhishthira was responding to him saying that, yes, we are dependent on you. You are one of the highest of the Kshatriya class, and you can withstand any one of them. You know all the shastras, you know all the weapons, you have learnt everything from Drona himself, so you can withstand. And hearing this, Dhristadhyumna addresses Sanjaya, and he says that, go and tell Duryodhana and all the people assembled there, including Balika, Kripa, Drona, the Ashwatthama, Jayadratha, and everybody, tell them that do not suffer at the hands of Arjuna. He is protected by Devatas themselves. Anyone approaching, so Arjuna will be killed. So it is better all the Kurus come to Yudhishthira and make peace with him, surrender the kingdom, instead of dying like a tree falling from in the wind, just like that. Don't die in that battle from Arjuna's arrows issued from that Gandiva, which nobody can withstand. So Dhritarashtra says that Yudhishthira has got that Kshatriya energy along with Brahmacharya, vow he is practicing from very young age, and that's why nobody can face up to Yudhishthira. And I asked this Duryodhana to desist from any hostility with Pandavas, and he again encourages Duryodhana to stop this war and give the half the kingdom to Pandavas. But Dhritarashtra says that all the Kauravas think that it is injustice, it is consistent with justice that Pandavas should get there. We should make peace with Pandavas. So you should, here, just Duryodhana to reflect on this and say that you will find that once you reflect that, you will also find that your army is for your own death. You will not be able to win Pandavas. And all these warriors you have in your side, all of them, in fact, none of them desire war, whether it is Bhishma, Drona, Ashwatthama, or whoever it is, none of them desire war. So do not go for this. You only listen to Karna, Dushasana, and Shakuni, and that's why you don't listen to anybody, and that's why you are making these kind of decisions mad, like a mad person. Duryodhana becomes very angry. He says that if I challenge Pandavas to this war, and if Drona, Bhishma, Ashwatthama, anybody, if none of them want to come, that's fine. I, alone with Karna, I will go and celebrate this battle and sacrifice Pandavas in that, including Yudhishthira. And he says that three of us, including Dushasana, Karna, they will kill everybody in Pandava's side, and I would sacrifice my life for this kingdom, wealth, everything. But I will not be able to live side by side to those Pandavas. So he says that I want to have this battle, and that's the only thing I want to do. Dhritarashtra says that I now abandon Duryodhana forever. I mean, if you remember, Vidura has been telling him to abandon Duryodhana from the moment he took birth. But Dhritarashtra never did it. And even now he says verbally that I now abandon you, but then he still grieves for his son and the loss he is going to face. And he remembers the strength of Bhima coming and killing all his sons, because Sanjay just told him that all of his sons, including Duryodhana and 99 sons, were allocated to Bhima. So he remembers that Bhima coming with that mace and then crushing everybody. So he says that if you do not make peace with Pandavas, this overwhelming calamity will be worse, and Bhima will kill you with the mace. And when you rest in calmness in that battlefield, then you will realize all these things that I said. So then Dhritarashtra asks Sanjaya, tell me, what did Vasudeva, Krishna, and Dhananjaya did, because I'm very anxious to hear about them, because they are the main people. And Sanjaya says that listen to what I did and what state I found Krishna and Dhananjaya in there with my head bent down and my hands joined, senses all restrained. I went to that apartment where Krishna and Arjuna were there. Even Abhimanyu or the twins, Nakula Sahadevas or anybody, though nobody can go to that apartment like that. And I went to there, and there I saw Krishna. He says two Krishnas, so that is Arjuna as well as Krishna. Okay, Vasudeva Krishna. Both of them were there with Draupadi and Satyabhama. So they were sitting there in all the garlands and celestial robes and very costly robes and golden jewelries and all the ornaments and everything. And there he sees Krishna resting upon with his resting upon Arjuna's lap. He was resting upon Arjuna's lap, while Arjuna's feet was rested upon Draupadi and Satyabhama. So Krishna's feet were on Arjuna, and Arjuna's feet were on Draupadi and Satyabhama. So when they saw Sanjaya arrive, Arjuna pointed him to a footstool made of gold to sit there, but Sanjaya touched it and sat down on the floor, on the ground. And so Krishna then withdrew his feet from Arjuna's lap, and then Arjuna from Draupadi and Satyabhama, and then Krishna, Arjuna, they both addressed. Looking at them, Sanjaya thinks that definitely Drona, Bhishma, Karna, nobody can withstand these two. And Sanjaya was convinced that Yudhishthira, who has these two obeying all his orders, will definitely succeed. And after Sanjaya taking the drinks and food given to him by them and all the hospital is over, so Krishna addressed him, and Sanjaya says that Krishna's words were uh, charming, mild, but thoughtful. So it was very thoughtful, and if it is very right accent, emphasis on this, and with his very much rending, it is such a speech was said by Krishna. And what did Krishna say? He says that Sanjaya, go and tell Dhritarashtra and along all the other Kurus, Bhishma, Drona, and everybody there, first saluting them, tell them that it is all those warriors and everybody that assembled there, let them do all the sacrifices, give gifts to brahmanas, and uh, enjoy their life with their sons and wives, and because great danger is coming to them. Do all the things they need to do, because once this war starts, they will not see any of their wives or sons or anybody. After that, they will not see that. So while Krishna then addresses again, saying that the debt that Kauravas have accumulated, that is the sins they have accumulated, has not been paid off. And when Arjuna lifts his Gandiva, then nobody is going to help them. So they are going to pay for all that sins they have committed. So even among Devatas, Asuras, Yakshas, Gandharvas, Nagas, nobody can encounter Arjuna in a battle. So even if Indra himself comes in front, he will not be able to face up to Arjuna. And in Virata Yuddha, Virata War, we have seen that Arjuna alone in a single chariot, he alone without any support, he faced up to everybody and defeated all of them. So Sanjaya recounts that episode, and he says that when Krishna saying like that, Arjuna also agreed to those words, and Arjuna also said the same thing, that Kauravas will not be able to face up to him, and they will all be destroyed when he lifts his Gandiva. So having heard these words from Sanjaya, Dhritarashtra thinks about the merits and demerits of that war again. He's again thinking how he can help Duryodhana. So he addresses Duryodhana and says that this anxiety always troubles me, and this is something we need to think about, because all the creatures that's being great affection for their offsprings, and I also have the same thing. And also you need to think about when someone does something good, the benefactor who benefits from it, they will always try to do the same thing, help whenever that's needed. So here Arjuna and Krishna previously satisfied Agni, so definitely the Agni will come and help Pandavas. Similarly, Dharma will come and help because Yudhishthira is Yudhishthira is his son. Vayu, Indra, Ashwin, they will come because their sons also in this battle. Similarly, all the other devatas will come, Indra and everybody, all of them will come and help Pandavas, and the Bhishma, Drona, Kripacharya, and all these warriors, they will have to face up to devatas themselves. That's why this is not just a human warriors that's coming and facing the Kurus. So that's why when Gandhi was lifted, it will be like Devatas themselves coming against Kurus. So in that chariot, you will see Arjuna with Krishna in that chariot. It is like Indra and Vishnu themselves coming together. So that's why I am all for making peace with Pandavas and not war. So because Pandavas are mightier than the Kurus. So listening to this, Dhritarashtra's words, Duryodhana becomes even more angry, and he says that if you think that the Devatas will come and help Pandavas, then that's not going to happen, because Devatas are supposed to have absence from all the desires, covetousness, enmity, and everything else. So all these things that happen in this world, Devatas should not get involved. They normally do not get involved. This has been told by Vyasa himself, Narada, Parashurama. All these have told that Devatas never like human beings. They engage in work. So that means they never do karma from desire or anger or covetousness or envy. So what does that he mean is Devatas, like when this war happens, even though let's say Indra's son is taking in part in this battle, Arjuna is taking part in this battle, Indra himself do not come. That's what Duryodhana is saying. Indra, Agni, Vayu, Dharma, whoever it is, Ashwin, whoever it is, they will not come. If they are ready to help like that, then Pandavas would have never suffered all these things all these years. They would never had to go to this forest and live there. Our previous also all their sufferings they had to go through. They never had to go through all these things. So even if worst case, Devatas themselves come here, I myself can face up to them and I will uh, send Devatas, Asuras, whoever that come along with Pandavas, I will do it. So Gandharvas, Rakshasas, whoever that comes there, they if they displease me, they will suffer because of that. And Duryodhana says that the it's not good to praise one's own self, but uh, you will hear that all the Pandavas, armies, Matsyas, Panchalas, Kayas, Satyaki, Vasudeva, whoever it is that's there, all of them will suffer, will all be destroyed, annihilated by me alone if I did. So because my intelligence is superior, my energy is superior, my prowess is superior, my knowledge is superior, and the resources I have is superior, far superior than the Pandavas would have. And whatever the knowledge of weapons, Bhishma, Drona, everything, Ashwatthama, all of them have same knowledge. I also have. So I will alone can defeat all the Pandava warriors. So Duryodhana responds like that. So without uh, much minding Dhritarashtra, what he's in at that time, Duryodhana was saying all those things, and before Dhritarashtra responds to him, Karna comes and he says that previously, knowing that I lied, my guru Parashurama told me that when the time comes, I will fail, I will forget the mantras for the Brahma weapon. Okay, Brahma weapon I acquired from Parashurama, but he told me that I will forget the mantras related to that. But that weapon still with me, and even with that, I'm able to. So Karna is telling that I haven't forgotten that mantra. I still know it. So using that weapon, I can destroy entire Panchalas, Pandavas, everybody that's assembled their Matsyas and everybody, I can destroy all of them. Hearing this, Bhishma comes and says that, is that what you're saying, Karna? Because you have been defeated by Arjuna already in that Virata thing. You already destroyed, and all the weapons, even Brahma weapons or whatever weapon you release, when Krishna releases his discus, his chakra, nothing will work. So, so that's why. And also, Bhishma says that the weapon you have in your uh, quiver, which is of the serpentine mouth, so that you always keep uh, worshipping and keeping ready. That weapon also, when Krishna comes in front, nothing will happen to that weapon, and it will protect Arjuna, and Krishna will protect. And at that time, listening to this, Karna becomes very angry. He says that I know that Krishna is superior, but the weapons I have, but you always keep talking negatively about me. And because of this reason, I'm going to lay down my weapons. I'm not going to use any of my weapons. So this Bhishma, as long as he sees, he will see me only in the sabhas, in the courts, in the assemblies. but not in a battlefield. After you have become quiet, everybody in this war will see what my prowess is, what my strengths are, how my weapons are used, and all those things. So Karna makes a vow here saying that as long as Bhishma is in that battlefield, that means he says that after Bhishma becomes quiet, then only I will come to battle. So that means they all, even though he is not saying, he knows that Bhishma is going to die. Bhishma is going to become quiet in that battlefield. He says that after you have become quiet, I will come and join the battle. So that means he says that he is not going to join the battle in the war, Kurukshetra war, and he will come only after Bhishma has been stopped. So Bhishma has become quiet and saying that he leaves the assembly, that court, and he goes back. And at that time, Bhishma looks at Duryodhana and says that you are dependent on this guy who just walks away, saying that he is not going to use any of his weapon, and he lays down all his weapons. So whatever that Bhima is going to do to you is when all the armies is destroyed by destroyed by Bhima. At that time, you will know what has happened. So he says that that curse that Karna has obtained from Parashurama, that will come to trouble him when the time comes. And when Bhishma was saying this, Karna leaves that place, and Duryodhana again uh, says these things to saying that even Pandavas are all, in fact, human beings. Then why do you think that their victory is certain? We ourselves are equal in energy, strength, and everything. Why do you think they are going to win? I again do not uh, seek accomplishment my aims by relying upon you, Drona, Kripa, or anybody else, or Karna, or myself, Karna, Vikartana, Dushasana, Karna, Dushasana, we alone will defeat Pandava. So he again repeats those things, saying that if if this is the problem, I don't want any of you. I just go with Karna and Dushasana, and I'll defeat all the Kauravas. So when he says that, Vidura jumps in and he says that the people with knowledge, they say that in this world, self-restraint is highly beneficial. And the person, especially in case of Brahmanas, it is his duty. And the one whose self-restraint follows charity, asceticism, knowledge, study of Vedas, that person always wins success and forgiveness, fruits of his gifts. So whatever dana that's been made, he will win the success from all those things. He will benefit from those things. So self-restraint enhances the energy. It is the excellent holy attribute to have, and one that is freed from sin and his energy increased by self-restraint acquires Brahma through it. So, and such a person. So Vidura explains about self-restraint. He says that it has been said that self-restraint is the excellent vow for all the four modes of life. So that is brahmacharya, grahastha, ashrama, vanaprastha, and finally sannyasa. For all the four modes, self-restraint one should have. And those the attributes of that self-restraint or the indications of those that self-restraint are forgiveness, firmness in mind, abstention from injury, equal regard to all the things, truthfulness in speech, simplicity, control over senses, patience, gentleness of speech, modesty, steadiness, liberality, mildness, contentment, and faith. And one that has self-restraint, he gives up all lust, avarice, pride, wrath, sleep, boastfulness, self-esteem, malice, sorrow, all these things, purity, and absence of crookedness and fraud, uh, distinct are the distinctive marks of such a person of who's having self-restraint. So Vidura again explains the greatness of these things, and he says that the one that is well behaved, of good conduct and contented soul, and that person knows self Atma is possessed of wisdom, and such a person wins great regard here and after he attains the blissful state once after this. So such a person of mature wisdom, uh, he he has no fear for any creatures, and from him none of the creatures have any fear, and such a person is a best of among all the persons, all the men. So he is a universal friend because he seeks the good of all the people, and no one is made unhappy by him. Vidura then continues and he says that uh, with having gravity like ocean and contentment because of his wisdom, such a man is always calm and cheerful, regulating his conduct as per the acts practiced by the righteous people in the world, dharmic people in the olden days, and in front of his own eyes. Such they that are self restrained, they are devoted to peace and they enjoy happiness in this world and after this. They abandon all the actions. Again, in Bhagavad Gita, we learn about abandoning actions and things like that. So here again says that abandoning the karma, so karma sannyasa, and they become contented in the consequence of their knowledge. And that knowledge is the knowledge of Atma. And through that, such a person who has self senses under control, they move quickly in this world and waiting for the uh, absorption into Brahma. So that means that Paramatma, they have become part of that Paramatma. They attain that Paramatma's knowledge, Atma Jnana. So such a path, so is uh, for such a path is for the person who is having a contentment in that. In such a thing of the person is the one attains of on because of the knowledge he attains atma jnana. That's not something one becomes visible. So it's such a person's actions only will tell because he's completely renounced everything and he's completely having self control, and that sannyasa mode of life brings heaven and beyond that, and that's the Brahmajna. So here he talks about again a small little story as well. He quotes, he says that in the olden days we heard about a story of a fowler spreading his net on the ground, waiting for the birds to come, so and get caught in that net so that he can catch them and use as his meal. So one day he had two birds caught in that, and when the fowler came near that net, both the birds started try to fly together, and they managed to lift the net and fly away together. So, and seeing them flying away with the net, the fowler followed them, and on the ground he started running wherever they are flying in that direction. Seeing them, an ascetic living on the in the hermitage nearby, he asks him, "Why are you running? Because those birds are flying in the sky and you are running on the ground. What are you doing? Why are you doing?" And the fowler says that these two birds, they are united together. They are taking away my net. But once they start quarreling, they will come under my control. And Vidura says that after some time, those two birds flying together, they started quarreling again. Probably one said, "Let's go left," or one right, or one started pulling each other because both of them still caught in the net, and they started quarreling, and both of them lost balance and fell on the ground, and they become the fowler caught hold of them. So Vidura says that just like that, the quarrel among the quarrel among the kinsmen, the brothers here, Pandavas and Kauravas, will fall into the hands of the enemy. So it is not good. It is not going to be good. So the kinsmen, uh, with loving hearts, wait upon the world, become unconquerable, and such, that's why he urges Dhritarashtra that if you the kinsmen are like charred brands, so wood logs, charred wood, burnt wood. When they when it's on its own, uh, it just creates smoke. But when they are united, those charcoal together, it blazes up, right? So he says that kinsmen should be united together, not fighting. So he also starts telling about another story of having something else he saw at the mountain breast. He saw that once upon a time in the northern mountain, there were some hunters and a number of brahmanas uh, discoursing on discoursing on charms and medicinal plant. In that northern mountain, Gandhamadana looked like a grove, and there uh, it was a lot of trees and everything, Siddhas, Gandharvas, everybody was living there. And there they saw a quantity of honey, uh, full measure of one jar full, one large jar full. They saw that. And that honey, which was Kubera's favorite drink, was guarded by the snakes and everything. And it was such that the any human drinking it would win immortality. And it is such a tasty honey. And a sightless man would obtain sight, he would obtain as eyesight after that, an old man becomes youth and things like that. It was that those Brahmanas were telling and spoke about that honey. The hunters, seeing that honey, desired to obtain it. So they all perished because in that inaccessible mountain cave with all the snakes, they went there and they all perished. They all destroyed by the snakes. In the same way, he says that Dhritarashtra, oh brother, if your sons desire to enjoy the whole earth without rival, uh, so they have to make peace with Pandavas. So the one sees the honey but not sees the terrible fall. So that means because honey normally be kept in the tall trees at top of the trees, right? So if one climbs up all the way up but falls from there, it's the end of that. Similarly, this Duryodhana desired to fight Arjuna in the battle, but he does not know the energy of the prowess that Arjuna has and what that battle is going to bring. In a single chariot, Arjuna conquered the entire earth, and with Bhishma, Drona, and others, everybody were frightened by Arjuna. So at the Virata war, so again, so still that Arjuna forgives us, forgives all of you. Drupada, Virata, Dhananjaya, all of them, when angry, they will destroy everything. Your army will be destroyed. That's why take Yudhishthira on your lap. So take Yudhishthira as your son, and both parties with that will uh, have victory, and they will not be engaged in this battle. So he urges again Dhritarashtra to stop this war. So we will stop there today. We'll continue next time.